Challenge, we've got our current condition. Now we want to talk about the target condition.
So this is where we're at. We want to say, what pattern do we want to establish next? We know we've got some chaos going on. We've got 223 on the positive side, variation to minus 41. We can look at the chart and see that it kind of bounces up. We'll look at everyone's exit charts. We've got some high points, some as high as 34 seconds over there. So this is where we're at. We just finished the current pattern. What do we want next? So where do we want to go? So it's kind of like looking outside your threshold of knowledge. Where do you want to be? So Garber mentioned it earlier. There, a target condition that you can already or quickly see how to reach, one that involves little trial or error, that's not a good target condition. Good target condition requires experimentation and it requires learning to reach it. Okay? So envision setting a target condition. This is kind of a little snapshot of the time machine on Back to the Future. You know, the DeLorean car that he set for 1985 to get back to from 2012. The target condition is kind of like time travel. In other words, we're here right now. We just finished this line operation, these observations. So we're going to jump to the future now at some point in time, and we're going to say, this is where we want to be. I guess I should have done it this way. We are here today, and 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks out, we want to be here by this date, and this is the pattern of operation that we want to run by. Okay? So you have to look at it as a fast forward to achieve date and look at the process. The target condition describes what would you see. So if you were able to time travel and jump forward 6 weeks, how would this line work? Okay? When you set, why would you set a target condition? Well, number one, it allows you to work scientifically by setting an objective and then trying to hit it. You learn why you cannot, and that's what you want to work on. So in other words, this is defined. We're going to set a target condition at a date, and then number two, we've got problems and obstacles. We're going to recognize the actual obstacles that we need to address. We're going to use the improvement kata to go after only those problems, obstacles that prevent us from getting to our specific target condition and striving to reach them one at a time in the direction of our challenge. There will be many things that we're not going to work on. We've got 9 items over here on the obstacle parking lot. I'm sure if everybody came through and put every obstacle on it, we could fill probably 2 pages full of stuff that we could improve. But there are certain things we're just simply not going to work on because they're not in that short-term 3 to 6 week time frame for our target condition. Number two, I talked about it earlier today. A target condition helps you beat entropy. It helps you beat that falling back into a state of chaos. It gets your team members and your learners and your first coach striving toward an improvement process. And if you're naturally striving, then you're fighting against entropy, which is trying to cause you to fall back to the way that it was. Deming estimated 80 to 95% of process variation is random or common cause, and these are systemic problems. Examining each failure and searching for the root cause in order to solve the problem is the wrong approach for systemic problems. What you're doing is trying to stay in place, which entropy says is impossible. In order to take action against the result of common cause variation, the performance of the system itself must change. In other words, we need a systematic improvement. We identified one operator putting in 3 components, and I think we've identified another operator putting in 1 component. So we need to change that system. It's obvious from our inventory here. It's obvious from our process exit fluctuation. It's causing disturbance down the line. So we can look at that and we can say that's a target condition we want to take a next step, or PDCA. If we do that, let's see what happens. If you're operating without a target condition, it's disorganized, it's dysfunctional, you've got finger pointing going on. With the target condition, you've got a structured approach with the team looking at the target condition, not looking at each other. It's his fault. He's too lazy. We need a new spring operator. He's not fast enough. It gets you looking at the target condition and gets the team motivated toward this rather than infighting and looking at each other. So, target condition is not just an outcome metric. And I talked about that earlier when I was over here and said we have number 5, the outcome metrics of actual output and overtime. Those are outcome metrics. Those are not target conditions. Okay? So example of outcome metrics would be your inventory level, lead time, output per hour, cost labor, all those things that you can put a measurement on at either the end of the day or the end of the week, or maybe the end of the month. Preferably the shorter the better. Process parameters and process metrics, a learning goal that describes the operating pattern is actionable. In other words, we predict the process operating in this pattern will generate the outcome. Okay? A target condition describes a future operating pattern that you predict will generate the desired outcome or goal. Okay? I'm kind of going through some of these kind of fast so we can at least get to the third round and get to more of the coaching, because I know you don't want this to completely be about the improvement pattern. But there's some things that should not be in a target condition. So what I'm talking about is this right hand of the form over here, the target condition. We're going to set a date, say 3 weeks or 4 weeks out. This is how we want to be operating on the right hand side. But there's some things that don't need to be in there. We don't need, it needs to be actionable. We don't need verbs such as minimize, reduce, improve, increase. Verbs, minimize, reduce, improve, increase, they don't belong in the target condition because the target condition describes a desired condition at a future point in time, not an action. In other words, the target condition is we're already there. Okay? McFly's already gotten in the car, he's already gone to 2012, and he's already got the skateboard that floats around. Or get the picture there? So we don't want to say we're going to minimize the amount of work in process here, we're going to improve the flow here or there. We're going to say what is happening at that time. Applying a tool, 5S, housekeeping, installing a barcode, those are countermeasures. They're not to be confused with the target condition. First we describe the process and how it should operate, countermeasures are then developed as needed on the way to the target condition. Another tool that people like to pull out, and we're going to install a milk run, or we're going to put a Kanban system in place. That's pretty vague for a target condition. You can have a Kanban or material system, in fact, be a target condition, but you need to describe in detail how it operates. Okay, so if that was going to be, if material flow was the kata we were working on, we need to describe how that's going to work in detail in words in our target condition, not just say we're going to put a pull system in or a Kanban or a milk running system in. So there's 4 steps that you take to establishing a target condition. First is an achieve by date, obviously, that we're going to have. And we're going to have a description of the process or steps or sequence and times, a pattern that you can draw or chart. So in other words, we already have a chart here that's got a lot of variability in it and some people not making tack time. In 6 weeks, we don't want that. We want a chart where everybody's below tack time, most people are inside of tack time and planned cycle time. Okay? Second thing are process characteristics, the number of operators, the number of shifts, where we have 1-by-1 flow, or if we need standard whip at a station, where we need to install that. That's the second step. The third is the process metric, and that's the measurement in the moment for checking the process condition in real time. Time for each step, piece, pitch, degree of time fluctuation from cycle to cycle. So for let me just ask you a question. If this line was running for buzz at all times, and you wanted to just come out and in the moment see if things were coming off the line the way that they are supposed to come off, everything's working the way it's supposed to, we're running smooth, we're winning, where would you go?
Into the line.
Into the line, and what would you be looking for?
Hour by hour charts, targets.
Hour by hour charts, and what would you expect to come off every 10.2 seconds?
Board.
A board to come off? And if something didn't come off in 35 or 40 seconds, you know there'd be an anomaly, right? So a good in-the-moment measurement, you could take a 5-minute sample just like we did, and you could chart this out and calculate this exit fluctuation, couldn't you? Probably in about 10 minutes. You could come out the end of that line and say, time it for 5 minutes, do a little math on your iPhone, and say they're running plus 120, minus 25. There's something not right upstream here. Something's going awry. And that's an in-the-moment metric. That's a process metric that you don't have to wait till the end of the day or the end of the month to find out. You don't have to wait till tomorrow's report to find out what happened was screwed up on second shift or shifts or anything. You can go to the line, you can see it. The outcome metric, okay, is the improvement efforts that we're going to be checking. Number of pieces per hour, overtime, productivity, that's some examples. So if we looked at this like a sports analogy, the first three are how the game is played. Okay? It's the players on the field. It's the strategy the coach put together to win the game. It's the time of possession the football team has if they're trying to run the clock out. It's batting averages, with the players coming up the bat if we're talking baseball. And this is the score at the end of the game. Okay? This is kind of a repeat of the last slide, but it's a little bit different example. For example, if we have a learning goal that describes an operating pattern, desired pattern for how to shoot free throws, the outcome metric is we want to shoot them at 80%. That's what we want, say, at the end of the season or at the end of the game. Desired pattern of how math and science is taught. Desired pattern of student habits. All 6th grade students in our school are passing standardized tests for math and science. So they're just claiming victory. They're going to say by the end of the year when you do our standardized test, all 6th grade students are passing the standardized test. That's the outcome metric. This is the condition that's going to get us there. Okay, we're going to describe the student study habits. We're going to describe how math and science is taught. So we're going to use a sports analogy, and I'm a football fan, so for those of you that said, no, I'm not a football fan, you just have to bear with me for a little while. Anybody remember the movie, the ESPN movie, The Junction Boys? You shake, the Bulldog's shaking his head back there. Tell us a little bit about that movie. Who was it about?
It's about Coach Bryant.
Coach Bryant, famous coach from
Arkansas, where he was born.
For 4 times. Thank you very much. McGee, Arkansas resounds where he was born, but he ended up at Kentucky and at A&M. And while he was at A&M, this guy wrote a book about the Junction Boys. He took them all down to Junction, Texas, right? He inherited a team that he didn't think was a very good Division I football team. I love the line from the quarterback there in the movie where he kind of comes in and he says, hey coach, he says, I think I'll skip practice tomorrow, get Smokey, the trainer, look at my sore elbow. And the bear pulls out a bus ticket and says, there's something you need to know aside from the fact that we may throw the ball maybe twice in a decade. I was an end at Bama and played 4 quarters against Tennessee with a broken leg. Now what is this I hear about an elbow? So you could tell his style of play very quickly at the beginning of that movie. And I've got a video here for you football fans and for those of you that played football. Anybody in here high school football? Any college football players? Anybody played? Sometimes we have some college football players in. I want you to watch this video and just as you see it, start telling me what you see the current condition of this team. This would be like a Bear Bryant team. Obviously they've cut out the huddles.
Run the wing too.
Run the wing tee.
Run the same play.
Any wide receivers?
On that ball.
Pulling the guards.
Doing the same thing over and over again.
Okay. So, a lot of misdirection, right? How would you describe the players on the line? Big guys, right? Even for a high school team, probably 250 to 280, 6'2". Running backs are pretty big too. I didn't see a wide receiver one on the quarterback, never threw the ball. So if you were to describe what you just saw in words, that's what you want to do when you're describing current conditions and target conditions. You want to describe in words what's going on these forms so that it's clearer to you as to what's happening out on the floor. So again, the roster was big, heavy, bruising linemen, strong, powerful running backs. The quarterback had misdirection and handoffs. No wide receivers. They ran all running plays. So again, these first three, the first couple of things here, how the game's played, process metric, probably would be a Bear Bryant type team. Time of possession, right? Keep the offense out there, grind it out. Don't let the other team get on the field. No turnovers. Take care of the ball, right? We're not going to throw the ball but maybe twice in a decade. Keep the other team off the field. Outcome, touchdowns. That's how we know whether we win or not, right? He'd be happy with a 10-7 victory. Came along this guy, another famous coach from somewhere in
Arkansas.
There you go. And he's by the name of Gus Malzahn, and now he's at Auburn after leaving Arkansas State. He wrote a book back in the 80s when he was at Shiloh Christian called The Hurry Up, No Huddle, and Offensive Philosophy. And what he did was he observed how the team changes their philosophy and their strategy and the whole conditions of their operating philosophy in the last 2 minutes of the game if they're behind. In the last 2 minutes of the game, even if you were that ground team, you'd start to see them trying to move and get big chunks of yardage, wouldn't you? Because they're behind and they don't have a lot of time left. So he came up with a plan whereby he said, why don't we just run the whole game that way? Why don't we run the spread offense? Let's spread the field out. You know, we've got roughly 50 yards to work with here from left to right. Let's move the ball vertically down the field. And he actually, if you've read this book, he teaches his players when they catch the ball and they're tackled. If you watch some teams, the guy just kind of rolls around and just maybe extends the ball out there. In his practices, he will get in your face if you don't jump up and find the man with the white hat and hand him the ball. Because he wants that ball spotted, he wants his next play in, and he wants about a 15-second play clock. Because he wants to get his team set and the ball snapped in 15 seconds. He's allowed 35. But he coaches his players, as soon as you're down in that whistle blow, you get out under that pile and you find the man with the white hat and you have him spot the ball. Because I want to get the next play. So let's watch a team that might be a target condition that he might get Auburn to in 2 to 3 years after recruiting and there's no, NCAA violations or anything that follow cheesy.
Again.
So let's describe this team's, how they operate. How many wide receivers? Three.
And it's tight end.
You got 2 running backs.
One
They
going
block
out
or
for
they
pass.
go out for a pass.
Flat.
1, 2, 3. 4 people go out for a pass. 5 in the running back. How about the linemen? Pass blocking. Are they as big as the last team?
No.
Why do they not need to be as big as the last team?
Well, they're spreading the field. They're not pushing up the middle so much.
They need quick hands, quick feet, and keep the guy off the quarterback, right? And the quarterback could have ran there, but he didn't. Until the very last. And he just punches it in with the quarterback. So 2 contrasting styles. One with this one has a roster of linemen used for pass blocking, quick hands, less power, fast slashing running backs, good hands. Quarterback is reading the defense, calling audibles, 4 to 5 wide receivers on the field. Most pass plays, few running plays, wide receivers running it into the gaps. Once the play's blown dead, as I mentioned, find the referee, spot the ball. Process metric. Different with this team, right? Manage a 15-second play clock. Why? Because if we can snap the ball in 15 seconds, it saves 20 seconds, and I can get another 5th quarter of offensive plays in the football game that the other team doesn't get. There's more opportunities for me to score points. The outcome metric, still the same. Touchdowns is what wins football games, but we're looking for a 50 to 28 victory as opposed to a 10 to 7 victory. because we want to hurry up, spread the field, move the ball. So the two contrasting styles make sense to you even if you're not a football fan? What I'm trying to drive home example is basically how to go from a current condition to a target condition. You can't get there overnight. You're going to have a series of target conditions. Malzahn had to change the type of players he recruited. He had to change his strategy. They had to change their conditioning. Here's another example from baseball, and Bill really likes this one. I do too. About a team, you may have seen this movie, about Billy Beane, who changed the way baseball was played.
There are rich teams, and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's us.
That's $1, man.
What?
Welcome to Oakland.
I need more money.
We're not New York. Find players with the money that we do have.
I like Perez.
Got an ugly girlfriend. Ugly girlfriend means no confidence.
You guys are talking the same old nonsense like we're looking for Fabio. We got to think differently.
Who's Fabio?
Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. And in order to buy wins, you need to buy runs.
Who are you?
I'm Peter Brand.
First job in baseball?
It's my first job anywhere.
We're going to shake things up. Why don't you walk me through the board?
I believe there's a championship team that we could afford because everyone else undervalues them, like an island of misfit toys.
We want you at first base.
I've only ever played catcher.
It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
He can't vote.
But what can he do?
You want me to speak?
We're not playing you yet.
He gets on base.
We are card counters at the blackjack table. We're going to turn the odds on the casino. I'm heading in. Text me to play-by-play.
Wait, what?
I don't watch the games.
Billy Beane has tried to reinvent a system that's been working for years. There was a nice theory, just not working out.
How long is Billy Beane going to last?
He's proven himself right out of the job.
In their minds, it's threatening the game. It's threatening the way that they do things.
Hey, Daddy, do you think you'll lose your job?
What? Where did you hear that?
Well, I go on the internet sometimes.
Don't go on the internet. Watch TV or talk to people.
You're discounting what scouts have done for 150 years?
What the hell am I doing?
What is happening in Oakland?
It defies everything we know about baseball.
Just plain crazy!
If we win with this team, we'll change the game. This better work. I'm just kidding.
So again, the systematic change is the way he structured his team, the systematic change the way he went about playing the whole game. So the point there is to challenge you guys to think differently and get your people to think differently about changing the systems that they may have already. Remember the pathway to work, and you end up there Saturdays instead of going to Walmart or Home Depot, you end up at work. Change the way those neurons are operating with people on the floor by challenging them with target conditions. So 3 versions of a current condition. Target conditions are on the next few pages. I'm going to skip through them pretty quickly. He's got instructions here as to how to cut them in half. Upon completion, learn can cut the form where they indicated and post them on the right side. So your target condition stays constant. Your current condition is constantly going to be changing. As you reach a new target condition, it becomes your current condition. Then set another target condition. You reach it, cut it off, it becomes your current condition. So at each step along the way as you link these together. Not everything changes. So as we set that, the things that stay the same, we want to bring from one side to the other. That's the red arrows. Notice the red arrows, everything, I think, no, the red arrows change. We go from 2 shifts in overtime to 2 shifts in overtime. The things that stay the same get written down first. I'm sorry, I did that backwards. So write down what's going to stay the same on the right-hand side, and then bring over the things that you want to change in your target condition on the right-hand side. A lot of words, I'm going to skip through that one, because I think this one is more important, and Marvin talked about it a little bit earlier. This is kind of a description of the uncertainty zone, or that threshold of knowledge. Your teams and your people are going to feel very comfortable in the green zone. They're going to want to set a target condition pretty close in. That's too easy. You can already get there. Just do it. You want them operating in the yellow zone. A target condition should be in the yellow zone of uncertainty. A beginner learner should be deeper into the yellow zone than the coach. The red zone there, the learner feels, is too hard. It's important to challenge the learner so she or he feels a sense of accomplishment. So this is where the give and take between the learner and coach, and we'll go through this here in just a little bit on where we think we can get. But you don't want to operate in the green zone when you're setting your target condition. You don't want to be out in the red zone. You want to push yourself, but you don't want to make it impossible. Once the target condition is set, it shouldn't be changed. You can modify it. You can massage it, okay? And this is a challenge early on, and Bill Hayes will probably talk about this early on, about setting too big of a target condition. But once the condition is established, its content and achieved by date should not be changed. This is done so we can take the time to analyze the current condition, think carefully about the target condition, and when the going gets tough, work hard to understand with creativity, get through the obstacles that arise step by step. This way you achieve a new level of system performance rather than simply altering the target condition. And as yoga says, do or do not. There is no try. Okay? Again, a couple different examples. We're using this particular one here that can be cut. Again, the target condition when it's reached can be cut, just taped over this right here, and a new target condition set. And so, quickly, you want us to go through and set the target condition, then I think it's time to break.